These people want answers. Their relatives are missing, most likely killed by Colombia's right-wing paramilitaries, but none of them have any proof. Libres y en paz. They're not alone. In Colombia, there are 10,000 people missing and presumed dead. Los queremos vivos, libres y en paz. The group has been rallying in this square in Medellin for the past 9 years. During most of that time, passersby rarely listened to their cries. The killings continued and were almost never investigated. Now things are starting to change. A new law here is beginning to disarm the feared paramilitaries. But more importantly for these people, the Justice and Peace Law, as it's known, is beginning to provide answers to the families of those missing. Ana Zapata knows what it's like to have family members go missing. She's lost 2 brothers to the paramilitaries. She recovered the body of her first brother in 1995. But in 2003, another brother went missing, and since then, she's heard absolutely nothing.
It's just a lot of worry and a lot of pain. When the telephone rings or there's a knock on the door, you think it could be him.
Ana's brother was a taxi driver and was hired to drive to an area controlled by one of the paramilitary groups. She assumes that he's dead, and now only has one wish.
The only thing that I really hope is that someday we will find the bones and we'll be able to take them and bury them in holy ground, next to the bones of my father and my other brother.
She might soon get her wish. Her brother's murder is being investigated here at the Attorney General's office in Medellin. It's one of thousands of such cases that are being examined as part of the new Justice and Peace Law. We were granted access on the condition that we do not identify any of the investigators because of security concerns. Since 2005, when the Justice and Peace Law came into effect, paramilitary leaders like this man have been volunteering information about their crimes in exchange for shorter prison sentences. Investigators used the testimony to help locate the bodies of the victims, often buried in hidden mass graves. Even with the paramilitaries volunteering information, it's a difficult task. In Antioquia, where Medellin is located, there are 10 paramilitary groups, known here as blocks. Do the math, and that means that this office is looking into tens of thousands of murders, with just 17 investigators. Maria is one of those investigators. She and her staff of 5 are tasked with investigating the crimes of the bloc known as the Heroes of Granada.
They only existed for 1.5 years, and in that time, they left 1,875 victims.
One of their victims was Ana Zapata's brother, and in these boxes of evidence are clues to what happened to him.
We've managed to resolve cases, and we're telling families what has happened to their loved ones. And the victims' families thank us for finding out what happened to them.
While the Justice and Peace Law might be providing some peace of mind for victims' families, critics say it is not providing justice for anyone.
It's a law which is going to guarantee impunity.
Byron Gongora is a lawyer for a human rights group. He says that the government is neglecting to investigate the connections between the paramilitaries and the army, which often use the shadowy groups to do its dirty work. He says investigators need to
demand that the paramilitaries tell the truth, not just about their crimes, but also about the intellectual authors of what they did, who was financing them, the connections with politicians.
But Ana Zapata wants information more than she wants justice, and she's finally about to get the facts about her brother. She's been invited to watch the recorded video testimony of one of the paramilitaries involved in her brother's killing. Diego Albert Perez Porras, shown here on the right, mutilated Ana's brother and later buried him. Porras' testimony was detailed and gruesome. He cut open the corpses to help them decompose, he said, but he provided little useful information. The investigators here said that they have no idea where the remains of the victims are today.
La información que le llega es que los cuerpos los sacaron, unos dicen que los echaron al río, otros que los quemaron con unas llantas.
For Ana, it was not the news she was hoping for. Her waiting will have to continue.
Now that we found out the truth, we're very sad. The only hope that I had is that we'd find their remains, and now we know we're not going to get them back. It's very hard for us, but what can we do? We can't keep feeding these hopes because we have no hope. We no longer have hope.